Alberto, thank you so much for joining us on Showcase today. I really appreciate it. So you're someone who spent a lifetime thinking about books, writing about books, and writing books. So let me start by asking this. Do you feel resentful to the state of reading and state of books today in the 21st century?
I'm not worried about the state of reading. I'm worried about the state of the world. We are in a state of collective suicide. And if reading can help us, it will be to imagine better possibilities. You know, the reader finds in the experience that writers have had and that they translate into the stories we love, the poems we love, their own experience. And literature tells us again and again that there is hope. It might be a different hope from what we see now, but that there is hope. And in that sense, readers find or can find in reading a sort of consolation.
But do you think people are reading enough? People are taking advantage of books enough these days?
We never take enough advantage of books. From the earliest days, readers were always in a minority. And it surprises me to think that with the possibilities that literature offers us, we refuse those possibilities. But then again, we are in societies that are consumer societies. And consumer societies require people who don't think. A consumer has to be a stupid citizen.
Do you think people are questioning the world less and less?
No, there are a number, always the same small number of people who question the world. Unfortunately, in certain societies, these people that question the world are put into prison. And no society can call itself democratic if it has writers, journalists, intellectuals in prison, because they ask important questions that are very uncomfortable for those in power.
Mm-hmm. And this actually brings me to a quote of yours. We've displaced the library and replaced it with the bank at the center of our societies. Tell us what you mean by this.
I mean that for the longest time, we believed that the library, the book, was essential to a society of the written word. However, in the late 20th and 21st century, we have displaced the intellectual act. The intellectual act seems not to have enough importance, and our values have become the values of finance. When we say, what is someone worth? We don't think of his moral qualities or ethical qualities. We'll think of money.
And speaking of libraries, do you think, I have a feeling that a lot of the people, at least in Turkey, a lot of people have this understanding of libraries as the ivory tower, really. Do you think that is a bit of a problem?
It is a problem because libraries are anything but an ivory tower. Libraries are the identity of a society. Libraries are the memory of a society. And we can't ignore that because if not, we ignore who we are and what we were. Libraries are important even to those who don't read because they hold the evidence of our experience.
Yes, they are really important, but why is it getting harder to convince people that they are important and they should be frequently visited?
In societies that deride the intellectual act, where a tweet is more important than an essay, it is very difficult to convince people that the act of reading, which entails time and effort, is important. And yet we have to do it because it's still essential to our well-being, to the development of our imagination and our power to reason.
But we have other forms of storytelling today. Please convince me, why are the books the best form of storytelling?
Books may not be the best form of storytelling. A film, a theater, a painting might convey a story better. The difference in a book is that the book provides you the story in words. It gives words to your experience, and we think with words. So a book is different from the other forms of expression in that it allows you to make better questions, to put your thoughts into words with the experience that the writer is offering to you.
Umberto Eco once said something that I find really interesting, and I never forgot it. He said that the book is like the wheel. Once invented, it cannot be bettered. Do you agree with this?
Yes, I said more or less a similar thing. I said that we have invented a few perfect objects. A knife, you cannot invent a knife in a different way. The wheel, and the book. The book is an extension of our brain in the same way that the car is an extension of our legs and television is an extension of our eyes. But there is nothing else that we have invented that is an extension of our thoughts. We think with the author, even if the author is not present. We think through books to imagine better forms for the world we live in.
So I trust you, Alberto Manguel. So can I be optimistic about the future of print books?
You can be optimistic about the future of books in print if you can be optimistic about the future of our world. If the world comes to an end, if our species kills itself as it's doing now, the question will not be valid.
You're making it harder, but I'll try to stay optimistic. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you.